My name is Ben Curry, and I started a business here in 2021 called Ben's Salad Bowl. I moved here from New Mexico, where I was growing lettuce on a farm called Morningstar Farm, and we were growing for restaurants, in particular vegetables too, other vegetables besides lettuce. But I moved here because my folks had started a market garden. They were Meadow Bluff Farm, and were selling at the Lewisburg Farmers Market. And they were trying to kind of pass over the reins, so I came and they had a bit of the infrastructure set up, and I'm trying to build my own to expand the operation. But my focus is on greens and market gardening, and also trying to learn more about peppers and tomatoes and some of the summer crops as well. Working from a smaller footprint here, got a little tunnel that I've been practicing learning this climate in, and like as you can see here, last fall I planted some carrots in here, and now these are ready to go in the spring. And also have some spring crops, some baby kale mix, some turnips, green onions, and I've been planting these little, these are going to be nice big head lettuce, and they're planted in between the tomatoes that'll grow, and as the tomatoes are growing, the lettuce will be harvested, and then this will just become tomatoes. And these are determinate tomatoes, so I plan to just grow them, have them fruit, and then cut them, and then follow right behind them with some more fall crops, turnips. So it's a way of getting a lot of mileage out of a smaller square footage, and then as the operation grows, I'll be able to use those same practices to make the most of whatever space that I have to work in. This is, I'm always trying some new things. This was the original mix of red and green salad bowl with I like to do a romaine and some things with texture, but this year I planted these Salanova, which it's a type of lettuce that you're supposed to be able to cut, and it comes back very quickly, and it has a lot of texture to it as well. So I have high hopes for that being added to the mix. This is one of my favorite vegetables. It's called a hack-your-eye salad turnip. It's a sweet salad turnip that you can eat just like an apple, pretty much. And I started growing this out west, and it was I was very happy to see that it was extremely easy to grow here too. So the best part about it is you can eat the greens as a stir fry, or you can just like eat the turnip like that, and it's about as sweet as an apple. So I've been experimenting with a lot of different kinds of greens, especially recently. This is a curly kale that it'll grow nice and big curly leaves, and so I've been doing little patches here and there of chard, kale, radicchio, see what works best and what seasons it works best in. This ends up growing and lasting most of the summer sometimes, and sometimes it goes to seed early, so I'll plant smaller portions in lots of successions to hopefully get some that last all summer. And then like over here, I let some beets go to seed, so I got some beet volunteers, which I'll harvest the greens to add to the salad mix, like a chard or baby green. And then this year is the first time I've planted radicchio, so I have two different kinds of radicchio, which is kind of a bitter green, balls up in a head. I'll probably try to grow that out as a green mix into the salad mix, just because some people like that slightly bitter taste to go along with the sweeter leaves. So I do that and endive as a mix in. Really like to keep the salad mixes changing with the season, and also just add different flavors to them, like have one with Asian greens in it for people that like arugula and spicy greens, and have another one that has sweeter greens and a simple salad mix, one that has bitter greens, and just keeping it kind of a lot of variety to it. That's part of what the salad bowl is kind of the idea of. I'm going to try to grow a lot of this summer is going to be onions and green onions and leeks and So these were started, well, there's actually a date, March 5th, and I have a few that were started a couple weeks earlier, but they're starting to get some thickness to them, and I just read that if you trim the tops of the onions, it helps with the root growth. So last year I had a lot of them die off because I planted them a little too early, but this year hopefully they'll be a lot sturdier and plant them a little later and maybe have a ton of onions. I don't know. I don't have much experience doing indoor tomato growing, so this year I'm just going to try about 10 different varieties of cherry and beefsteak style tomatoes in here, and so every row is a different variety, and we'll just see what does best, and which ones have the most disease resistance and the best production, and have determinate and indeterminate varieties, so some that just fruit once and other ones that'll fruit over a long period of time. And so yeah, it's just more ways to experiment every year. So this particular part of the garden was the part that I started with 2 years ago, and yeah, I added a couple rows to the outer sides, but I just started with I guess 6 rows, and just growing lettuce, trying to start a commercial salad greens business, and also playing around with some other vegetables as well, beans and squash and summer things. But my focus is really on getting greens and getting them in larger quantities to restaurants and to the public, and trying to work with this climate here in West Virginia to come up with a way of doing it in a larger season, like a longer season, extending the beginning with the row covers and extending to the end. And then also, like this lettuce was planted last fall, and now it's April, and it survived all winter. I was able to get a couple of harvests really early this spring that way. So I've been doing this all using no-till practices and broad forking, and we've been making our own compost on site and just trying to do it pretty simply. One good thing about lettuce is it's not too heavy of a feeder, so you don't have to have too many inputs. You just have to do a lot of weeding, and the harvesting is kind of physical, but I really enjoy that part. Hopefully to seed in the summertime, so I take it out of the mix for the summer mix and add different varieties that don't seem to go to seed as quickly. But I've always liked this particular type because it adds a lot of loft and sort of texture to the salad mix, and it actually makes the greens last about a week longer because it adds space and pushes the leaves apart so they don't mat on each other and rot that way. So, getting the different textures of the lettuce and the color is kind of one of my goals with the mix for making a nice product for people at home and also in restaurants and things. So I planted these in the spring, and they're just coming up, so this should fill in and then give me a kind of staggered harvest. But I like these little bib lettuce. They do reds and greens, and that's so this is all a mix of different kale varieties that I've been growing as a baby kale, as an alternative salad mix that has a bit more nutrition. And I just let a bunch of the kale plants go to seed last year and then collected all the seed off of them. So this is all from saved seed, which is pretty satisfying. This is kind of a 5-week process of, it's actually started a year ago with spreading out a thick layer of hay to kill the grass, because this is all trying to start a new plot here from just a field, and so layer thick hay to kind of block the light from the grass. And now I put a silage tarp out, and every week I'm going to roll it back and move this mobile chicken fencing down and have these hens kind of stir up the hay, and then I'll come behind it. And this first year I'm going to plant a lot of winter squash here, and maybe some corn, melons too, just something that will just start to establish this as a growing spot, because I've heard that squash actually is good at knocking down weed regrowth as well. So it's just kind of an experiment with starting a new plot, and then I want to replicate this if it's successful throughout. And actually, one of the big goals for this summer is to till up a large area of this field and then plant it with cover crops, just thinking to the future of building the soil before I actually need to use it. So then I'll be adding nitrogen and green manure to the dirt and enriching it, and as I can expand this farming operation, then I'll have some nice already prepared areas to plant in, hopefully.